Okay, you've designed your structure, but you still need fuel. Something that makes showing up easier and keeps you showing up when the novelty fades. That's what Act 3 is all about. Halfway done, folks. Here's Act 3. Build motivation by upgrading your inner operating system. Embrace the 85% rule. We grow fastest not when things are perfect, but when they're almost perfect. Machine learning researchers at the University of California, San Diego discovered something counterintuitive. Systems learn best when they're right about 85% of the time. Not 100%, not 50%, 85. If you're succeeding all the time, the task is too easy. No adaptation, no evolution. If you're failing most of the time, the task is too hard. Too much noise, not enough signal. The sweet spot is that narrow band where you're stretched but not snapped, where your abilities are just behind your ambitions. The experiences where you grow aren't the ones that feel effortless. They're the ones that sit just on the edge of your ability. So here's what you can do to launch into 2026. Pick one goal you're working on right now. Writing, running, coding, whatever. Then deliberately dial the difficulty so you're succeeding about 8 or 9 times out of 10. If it's too easy, increase the challenge. If you're failing constantly, dial it back. Start living at 85%. That's where growth happens. But here's the thing, it won't feel good. But that uncomfortable feeling isn't failure. It's the emotional signature of learning, which leads to the next point. Redefine discomfort as learning. A few years ago, I decided to take some acting classes, not because I thought I'd win an Oscar, but because I believed it would make me a better writer. Believe me, it did not feel great, to put it mildly. Especially at the beginning. I was awkward, rigid, clumsy. My brain kept firing the same alert. Stop! You're doing something wrong. But eventually I learned that message wasn't a warning. It was a signal I was on the right track. Research from Mayela Fishbach at the University of Chicago shows that real progress often feels deeply unpleasant. In her studies on how people pursue goals, participants underestimated just how much effort true learning requires. When something feels easy, you're usually coasting. When something feels awkward, effortful, or slightly embarrassing, that's the sign you're growing. Effort, not ease, is the neurological cue for improvement. So, the next time a task feels uncomfortable, public speaking, writing a new chapter, having a difficult conversation, pause and tell yourself, this isn't failure. This is what learning feels like. Train your brain to see discomfort not as a stop sign, but as a mile marker on the road to mastery. And once you can handle discomfort, the next step is to shape your environment so it works for you, not against you. And that means designing friction wisely. Willpower is overrated. If you're always relying on it, you're never going to win. That's because your environment beats your intention almost every time. Behavioral economists have shown that adding or removing tiny bits of friction, a few extra steps here, some fewer steps over there, can shape your behavior more effectively than motivation alone. Delete one app, and your screen time plummets. Set up automatic savings, and suddenly you're consistently putting money away. We're not weak, we're human. And humans follow the path of least resistance. So, the smart move is to design that path intentionally. Here's a concrete idea for starting the year. One that takes just 5 minutes and pays dividends for months. Pick one behavior you want to reduce and make it harder. Pick one behavior you want to increase and make it easier. That's it. If you want to scroll less at night, charge your phone in another room. If you want to eat healthier, prep a bowl of washed fruit and put it at eye level in the fridge. In 2026, spend less time trying to summon your will and more time reconfiguring your environment. The next one, use public promises. A strange thing happens when we tell another person what we intend to do. Our odds of actually doing it jumps, not because the other person nags us and not because we suddenly become more disciplined, but because we've created a tiny social contract, one our brains are surprisingly motivated to honor. A fascinating experiment published in the Journal of Applied Psychology found that participants who made specific promises to a single accountability partner showed significantly higher follow-through than those who kept their goals private. The magic isn't in the announcement, it's in the relationship. A goal shared with one trusted person becomes more concrete, more binding, and more real. But here's the twist. Shouting your goals to the entire world, posting them across social media, often backfires. Public declarations can create a premature sense of accomplishment, draining the motivation to do the actual work. So, here's your beginning of the year move. Pick one meaningful goal, share it with one person, and ask them to check in with you every Friday with one question. Did you do what you promised? Simple. quiet, incredibly effective. The next one, track small wins daily. If you want to build unstoppable motivation this year, don't focus exclusively on the finish line. Focus on the next step. In her landmark book, The Progress Principle, Harvard's Teresa Amabile analyzed thousands of daily work diaries and found a striking pattern. People feel and perform their best on days when they experience small wins, tiny steps forward, even if they're modest or imperfect. It wasn't praise that kept people going. It wasn't perfection either. It was progress. Small wins generate progress loops. Progress creates positive emotion, which fuels more progress, which generates even more motivation. Trouble is, most of our work environments aren't built to let us see our progress. So we often overlook our progress and instead focus on setbacks and frustrations. But here's how to fix that. Create your own progress ritual. At the end of each day this year, take 60 seconds and write down 3 ways you made progress. Doesn't matter how small. Sent an email you've been avoiding. Read 3 pages. Went for a walk instead of scrolling. You don't need to look at the list again. It's the act itself that matters. Trust me on this. I've been using this technique for a decade. So try this every day in January. By February, you'll have a ritual you'll keep for the rest of the year. Because once you see your daily wins, your momentum becomes very hard to stop. Master difficulty, embrace discomfort, shape your environment, and count your wins. That's how you build a motivation system that lasts. Time for the last piece. Because nobody sustains excellence alone. Act 4, connect and renew. Strengthen the forces that strengthen you. First idea in this section, build a challenge network. You know, everyone loves a compliment, but compliments don't improve your work. The real upgrades come from the people brave enough to tell you uncomfortable truths. So how can you design that into your life? Well, psychologist Adam Grant has a great idea. Build a challenge network. A small group of people who care about you enough to tell you when your work isn't good enough. In his research and corporate work, he's found that people who actively invite criticism from trusted peers learn faster and perform better than those who just collect praise. So don't just ask, what'd you think? Ask something sharper. What's one thing I can do better? And make it a habit. Here's a simple way to do that in 2026. Create Feedback Fridays. Once a week, send one piece of work, a draft, a slide deck, an idea to one person in your challenge network. Along with it, ask a single focused question. What's one thing you'd change to make this better? You don't need a dozen critics. 2 or 3 honest, thoughtful challengers will keep your ego grounded, your learning curve steep, and your work getting better and better week after week. The next one. Curate your circle. Your challenge network sharpens your work, but your broader circle, that shapes your life. And you need to be careful about that because you can end up absorbing the attitudes, habits, and energy of people you never consciously chose. Sociologist Nicholas Christakis, in his famous work on social contagion, found that emotions and behaviors spread through social networks up to 3 degrees. Happiness spreads, discipline spreads, so do their opposites, stress, indifference, bad habits. So heading into 2026, don't just let your circle happen. Curate it and start with the role that we just discussed, your challenger. This is someone who won't let you coast, someone who pushes your thinking and tells you the truth. Keep that person close, then add 2 more. First, a cheerleader. Not a flatterer, someone who genuinely believes in you and helps you recover on the days you'd otherwise quit. The second one, a coach. Someone who has already played the game you're trying to play, 1 or 2 steps ahead, able to see the patterns you can't see. That's your trio. Challenger, cheerleader, coach. Not a crowd, not a committee, a calibrated circle. Because energy is contagious, ambition is contagious, courage is contagious. So pick the people who push you forward. Next one. Create a to-don't list. We obsess over what to add to our lives, new goals, new habits, new tools. But one of the most powerful performance boosters isn't addition, it's subtraction. And yet research has shown we have a hard time thinking subtractively. Our brains want to solve problems by doing more, not by doing less. But we can overcome this cognitive bias with a to-don't list, a small list of things we should stop doing. So every quarter in 2026, ask yourself this one deceptively simple question. What's not worth my time? A recurring meeting that adds nothing? A committee you've outgrown? A project you're keeping alive out of habit, not purpose? Here's your January move. Pick one thing, just one, that you will stop doing for 90 days. Put it on your calendar as a to-don't and honor that commitment. When people stop doing low-value tasks, their productivity and well-being jump dramatically. Subtraction frees up time, attention, and emotional bandwidth in ways addition never can. You've already got a to-do list. This year, try a to-don't list. We're almost there. 2 more. Try micro Sabbaths. Earlier in this video, I told you to take a walk break. That's movement. That's creativity. A micro Sabbath is its calmer cousin. It's not about motion, it's about stillness. A micro Sabbath is a short, intentional pause where you stop feeding your brain inputs. No phone, no laptop, no scrolling, no stimulation, just 10 or 15 minutes of nothing. Quiet, nature, breathing, or simply sitting in a chair without trying to achieve anything. And it's incredibly restorative. Research on attention restoration theory shows that even brief moments of quiet or gentle, natural attention lower stress, restores cognitive capacity, and boosts creativity. It's the mental equivalent of clearing your cache. So this year, find a 30-day stretch and once a day, take a 15-minute micro Sabbath with zero agenda. Sit by a window, stare at a tree, lie on a couch, do absolutely nothing, and don't apologize for it. This isn't laziness, it's maintenance. Walks spark ideas. Micro Sabbaths restore your brain so you can actually use them. And our final idea for a great 2026, send 26 thank you notes. If you want a practice that strengthens your relationships, boosts your well-being, and keeps you grounded through the ups and downs of the year, here it is. Write more thank you notes. Psychologists Martin Seligman and Robert Emmons have both shown that expressing gratitude, especially in the form of written letters, produces a lasting boost in happiness, reduces stress, and deepens connection. In some studies, the positive effects last for weeks or even months. In one study, gratitude writers reported 25% more life satisfaction and even exercised more, about an hour and a half extra per week. Not bad for a stamp and a few sentences. So, the beauty of gratitude letters is their simplicity. They don't require grand gestures or poetic writing. They just require attention. Attention to the people who've helped you, supported you, taught you, challenged you, or somehow made your life a little better. So here's your 2026 challenge, one that's easy to remember. Send 26 thank you notes this year, one every 2 weeks. Handwritten is best, short is fine, simple, clear, sincere, that's all you need. You'll brighten someone's day, strengthen a relationship, and without fail, lift your own mood. There you have it, 20 evidence-based ways to design your best year yet. Don't try to use all of them. Just pick 2 or 3 that really speak to you and give them a try. Because a better year isn't something you wait for, it's something you create.